Hello everyone. My name is Travis. I'm the herpetology curator here at the Virginia Living Museum. And if you're tuning in, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be showcasing some of the diet that we're going to be feeding our box turtles here on exhibit. And I just wanted to, you guys will get, you won't have to focus up on me this whole time. I'll get back to the turtles in just a sec. But I wanted to show you a little bit about, what they're eating today. So if you take a look over here, you can see that the turtles are going to have this really delicious diet today that is, delicious for them. I don't quite find it as appetizing, except for of course, the fresh fruits and veggies that we have in it. And we have some carrots, collards, we have some chopped up squash, and of course strawberry, which is one of their favorite things. And we have worms to kind of top it all off to make this a nice, complete diet. So it's up until the worms, that tends to be the most, all the fruits and veggies tend to be the most appetizing thing about it. And very much like us, they are omnivores, so they need a little bit of everything to supplement their diet. So I'll kind of put them in front of their food and show you guys them enjoying it. So hold on just a second. So I've got our male box turtle diet right here. I'll go ahead and put this in front of him. Hey buddy, come on over here. Here we go. And I will get our female box turtle all squared away. So I'm going to put her diet just a little bit over away from the male, just so that there's not a lot of aggression going on, because they tend to get in each other's, they tend to get in each other's way a lot. And we definitely want them to be able to enjoy their diet. Be able to eat their whole amounts of food. So here, I'll let you guys get a nice zoomed in look at our box turtle enjoying her meal thus far. So of course they tend to go straight for the most delicious things, which are, at least to them, which are usually the worms. The worms are by far their favorite. And we like to put that in there because when it rains, especially wild box turtles, worms make up a really good portion of their diet. So what I've done is, I just kind of put that in there, and usually after a heavy rain or a really nice bump in moisture, you'll see that's when you usually see a lot of worms coming out and about, coming out of the ground and making their way around. So that's when you also see box turtles coming out a lot. So we have a question already from Emily Barr. Is it true that red eyes are males and that females have brown eyes? So thanks for that question. Yeah, so actually, you can kind of say that as a general rule, yes. Turtles will typically have more reddish eyes. So I'm not sure if you guys can see kind of the color of, this is a female, this really bright yellow shelled box turtle that we have in front of you is a female. So you can kind of see her eyes are a little bit more on the brown side. They're a little bit less red. And then, we'll pan over here very slowly, and we'll get down with our male here. So, hey buddy, how's it going? And you can see his eyes kind of have a little bit more of that red tinge to it. So, they, and this is a general rule. So, this isn't a guaranteed thing. If you see a turtle with red eyes, that means it's automatically a male, or a turtle with brown eyes, that's a female, because there are shades in between. Sometimes I've seen some females with a little bit more orange in their their color of their iris, but as a whole, yeah, that's absolutely the case. And Male turtles will also have a little bit of an indentation on their belly. So I'm not going to flip this guy up right now since he's a little distracted with me. So I'm gonna kind of back away a little bit so he can enjoy his fresh strawberries here. Hey, buddy, how's that? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, these guys tend to get a little distracted, but you know, once they see that bright, shiny color of a strawberry, they're like, oh yeah, that's they get really drawn in by bright colors. And that's why, you know, if you have any turtles that you see come around your garden or anything, they tend to get drawn in by bright fruits and veggies like strawberries, tomatoes, things like that. So we have a question from Zach Garnes. What is the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? So that's an excellent question, especially since we're talking about box turtles, and box turtles do still get that name turtle because they are very terrestrial, but they are not a tortoise. We don't actually have any native species of tortoises in Virginia, and this is the most terrestrial turtle that we have. Usually, you know, if you see if you see a turtle well away from any source of water and just kind of cruising around, and they have this really nice high domed shell and you know, really thick scaly legs, that's a good sign that it's a box turtle. And they are made for living life on land and a little bit further away from the water than some of the aquatic cousins that they have. And they don't really have webbed feet like their aquatic cousins do, but they do still swim. And that's really the key difference between a tortoise and a turtle. Is a tortoise, you know, they don't really have to live necessarily around a predator. They can venture a good ways away from it and still be able to, you know, they get most of their moisture and water from the things that they eat, like grasses and things like that. So turtles, they have to live near some source of water. You know, otherwise they would just kind of dry out a lot. So they are, and they do swim. You know, turtles will be able to swim. This turtle, you know, eastern box turtles have a kind of a unique way of swimming. They end up just kind of paddling along, kind of like a doggy paddle, but I guess in this case you could say it's a turtle paddle. And they bob like a cork. They are just so buoyant that they just float right on the top of water. So I have another question from Angela Founders, is what is his name and what's the female's name? So the female here, you know, our two box turtles. Another pair that we have general nicknames, officially, you know, landed on a name that we agree upon, but I usually just call them, you know, just orange, yellow. Usually my nicknames for them, because she, you know, has one of the most brilliant bright yellow colorations I've seen on a lot of box turtles. Has very pronounced oranges. You know, that showcases just how just variable their colors can be, because you know, these both are eastern box turtles, same species. It's not a male and female thing about how their color is pronounced, you know, because we also have a male that is the same bright yellow, and we have females that are very dark brown. So it is just as variable as a human's hair color. And it can go anywhere from orange to brown to yellow, and I've even seen dark, deep reds, almost like strawberry. So Crystal Skaggs asks, what kind of veterinary care do you have to give them? And the answer is the same that we give for all of our animals here at the museum. So, you know, it's the care, of course, is can be somewhat different because it's a obviously a different species, but you know, we still do annual physicals. We still check on their weight routinely so that we make sure they're not you know, losing or gaining too much weight at any one time, because that's usually an indicator of health. You know, we'll give them antibiotics if they end up getting sick or get any respiratory disease. So yes, it's a lot of the same care that we give birds, mammals, and things like that. But you know, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult with reptiles because they hide it. You know, they hide any issues so much more than some other species do. So you know, we really have to pay attention to be able to catch anything that might be going wrong with these guys, because you know, once they start showing signs that they're sick, that usually means it's been going on for a little while. So Jennifer Thurston has a question. So Seraphia, age 6, would like to know why their shells have patterns, and that's a fantastic question. So and of course, along with that, you know, why is their color so variable too? And that really is just a species thing. You know, they live life on the land. These colors that you see here, you know, right around their shell, has that broken up kind of dark and brighter coloration. And you have to think about where these guys tend to inhabit. You know, these guys will be in different types of woodlands. So this can be, you know, pine forests or hardwood forests, and you know, they occupy a lot of that dense vegetation that's just under the canopy there on the ground. So you know, to help blend in, they usually have these this sort of playful interaction between dark and bright colors that make it look like how the light shines through that overhead canopy and just on the forest floor. So you know, different colors, advantages and disadvantages to that, and that's why, you know, they do have such variation, because sometimes one color and one type of patterning will work better than others, and they will have a strategic advantage in the wild. So yeah, so please keep those questions coming in, and you know, I hope you guys are enjoying the feast of our box turtles here that we have in our Cypress Swamp Habitarium. And you know, we'll feed these guys about, you know, we'll feed them, this is their omnivore diet that we give them, and we like to vary it up from feeding to feeding, so they don't get the same things twice. They get a lot of good variation in their diet, and we also like to supplement diets that they get with a lot of nutritious like calcium or other multivitamin things. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today, and I'll go ahead and wrap up our video here. So you know, I'd like to ask everyone to keep visiting our website and the VLM.org to stay up to date on all these videos that we're putting out for you, and to please consider donating to our emergency fund to you know, to you know, help donate and help us keep doing what we're doing, especially during these troubled times, and to stay tuned for all the natural learning series we have on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a good one. Stay safe.